Hi everyone, how are we all doing? So, hello everyone, I am Game Boy F9, I am the Restreamer, also known as the B Team. I'm sorry Ryu, we actually were both muted. I was unmuting the RTMP stream. Next time you restream. How you doing, Ryu?
Well, I'm here.
Well, I'll tell you who isn't here. It's Zman.
I'm apparently here
He died
now.
to the fun... Well, I'll tell you who wasn't here. It's Z-Man. He died to the fun police. And then Sparky dying to the swamp. Giving up half her gold.
There we go, just doing a little updating. And we have Z-Man finding another town.
Sparkover got to level 6, and I don't know where... I don't know what the stat gains were, but Z-Man taking care of a Wolf Lord.
Well, that'll do enough for level 5 at least.
Yeah. If he knocks out another Wolf Lord and another monster... Oh, I also noticed that there's a town sitting there. Okay, you scared me there. Oh, it's Hawksness. Okay, so... Yeah, you're not going to be able to get very far with Hawksness because there's a very strong boss monster there right now, and right now they're not equipped to tackle that. Our runners started...
Always a disappointment.
Yeah. Our quick recap here. Our runners did start with Hurt, so even though they started with a mere 5 strength, they were not able to... they were easily able to get away from that restriction. I'm not quite sure why Z-Man's running from the race, but no matter. The werewolf dismissed Z-Man. Oh, and I see level 6, the Hurt More spell was learned. So, once level 6 fires for Z-Man, it's going to become quite it's going to become an execution seed, pretty much.
And Sparkover did manage to get to the other side of the swamp cave there too, but unfortunately that green dragon was a little too much to deal with.
Meanwhile, we have a Magi Wyvern on Z-Man's side, runs away from that, yep. Scorpion for Sparkover, no problem there.
And it looks like Sparkover might be heading back to the other side of the swamp.
Z-Man's continuing to explore. Sparkover should have a pretty free reign as to where she wants to go.
Ragnar just wants to get his exploration done, that's all. Make sure he's been thorough.
Yep. I wonder why he's running from the race.
Might not be where he could take out a Wraith currently. And, oh, just getting punched by a Stillman before he could get to that cave in the swamp. Not swamp cave, but the swamp in the cave in the swamp.
Yeah, one of those two. And Z-Man in chat mentioning that Wraiths had something a bit crazy, which is why he was running away. Sparkover to going to level 7 thanks to the Spectre. 7 power, 0 agility. A lot of magic, though. Which means 3 more more spells. New town for Cantlin. So one of the changes between the vanilla game and the randomizer is that you can easily access the first merchant there. So so the merchant doesn't get caught checking Facebook.
I actually didn't catch what that cave that was in the swamp was either.
Yeah, neither did I. 1 leather armor for Sparkover. And unfortunately, our Wraith Knight is gonna take Z-Man back to the beginning.
Yeah, Wraith Knights, unlike the Wraiths, will definitely send you home quick at low levels.
And Sparkover is gonna pick up a few items real quick, probably some torches, probably fill up the herbs.
I never hurts to have a backup healing method.
Well, it's usually, that is true, and it's also, you're also ready to deal with the Sharlock dive when it comes for that, but now surely is not the time for a Sharlock dive, as the Red Dragon has proven to Sparkover.
Yeah, you're certainly not ready to deal with the Red Dragon at this point. So it looks like the second continent housing red and green dragons, at least so far, not friendly.
And Z-Man still trying to find the 40 experience points or so required to get to level 6 and that Hurt More spell.
Now, we actually see Sparkover having found Hogsness, and with Hurtmore could actually take out the boss there.
Yeah, and if she sees an Axe Knight, don't be surprised. Nope, it's a golem. I was gonna say, it's a
fire-breathing golem. Ooh, but we got Z-Man finding coal now. Did she just land Hurtmore on a golem?
Yes. Okay, so everything's happening at once here. Z-Man has found Erdrick's armor, which is one of the most OP armors in the game, probably second to only the Adamant armor in Final Fantasy IV. And Sparkover did indeed hit a Hurtmore against the golem, which the odds of that are happening are 1 in 16.
That's a pleasant surprise, actually having that work.
Yeah, but now she's thinking that Hurtmore does work more often, and I'm afraid it doesn't.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was a very lucky roll. And I believe, yeah, I was gonna say, I believe the golem will be sending her packing.
Alright, so let me say a little something about Erdrick's armor. So Erdrick's armor gives 28 defense, and which is the highest amount in the game. You also get free walking across the swamp, so you don't get any penalties for walking across the swamp. And you also restore 1 hit point for every step you take. And you also get a 1/3 reduction in hurt spells and fire breath.
Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, probably about as OP as the Adamant armor in Final Fantasy IV, I would have to say.
Alright, so if Z-Man defeats this wolf, he will have the advantage, or not the advantage, he will gain that Hurt More spell. Oh, that came with.
Don't you mean Herkendor?
Yeah.
That's the Herkendor spell.
The Herkendor spell?
Herkendor, yeah, Herkendor.
Alright, so now that Z-Man has that Hurtmore spell, he's gonna go ahead and head on over to the other side, see if he can knock out some of the monsters that Sparkover wasn't able to defeat. But Sparkover has reached level 8. And a moderate level there. Yeah, Sparkover is able to destroy most of the monsters she's running into right now. A question from chat from Steve. What does OP mean? I apologize. I should have said overpowered, because that's what that means. Because with most of the other strongest armors in most of the other games, I'm sorry. They're not as powerful as Erdrick's armor is in Dragon Warrior.
Oof. But tell you what is powerful, those green dragons against Sparkover.
Yeah, they're pretty
mean.
mean.
0 for 2 against them.
Yeah, they're pretty mean, alright.
That's true. I think I don't think there's been a single Dragon Warrior game since the first one that has had an armor that was that powerful. There's some good armors for sure, such as the maybe the Sword Edge armor, but nothing as powerful as Erdrick's armor.
So Sparkover defeating another Magi Wyvern. That is one of the best monsters you can run into in this game, is that Magi Wyvern. 83 points for 1 Hurtmore guaranteed.
And Z-Man running into his share of green dragons on the other continent.
Oh, got very unlucky with that Hurtmore miss. That is a 1 in 8 chance for that to happen.
And unfortunately, not having much better luck than Sparkover was on those green dragons.
Alright, let's see if we can find out what this cave in the swamp is. It's the Tablet Cave. So in the Tablet Cave, there are no monsters and only 1 treasure. But that treasure could be Erdrick's sword. We're about to find out in about 20 seconds.
And we'll see if Z-Man choosing to ignore the cave was a good thing or a bad thing.
Looks like it was a good thing. The item there was the fairy water.
And it looks like we might be having Z-Man's attempt at the Hawksness boss, which unfortunately he doesn't know will be a golem yet. If this Armored Knight will allow him, or will he take it down and get a nice boost in experience?
Yeah, that excellent move there to throw down those 2 Hurtmores. And that will grant an additional 7 power.
And perhaps he'll get himself another. That'd be a great way of catching up if you're behind in experience, where your opponent's grinding on less than 100 experience per kill.
Level 9 for Sparkover. The big features, well, actually, I'll just say it all. 2, 13, 7, and 9. So, pretty decent boost of agility there. That's 6 extra defense, if I'm not mistaken. McNuggies, thank you very much for the 5 bits. Really appreciate that.
And unfortunately, not able to take down that metal slime.
And hello, Golem.
And that makes 0 for 2 on the red dragons for Sparkover now as well. She just has not had luck with dragons at all.
Yeah, I think our runners are going to need to find heal more before being able to knock out those red dragons, because they have a very high resist to hurt more. Oh, actually, that's the big thing. They have a very high resist to hurt more, so they're also going to need some more muscle before being able to deal damage to them. So Z-Man, having gained the Hurt More spell, is rapidly catching up. He was about 600 or 700 points down. Now he's only about 400 points down.
Taking out those Armored Knights for 172 apiece and getting 2 of them wouldn't be a bad place to maybe do a grind at even for a little bit to get some levels. And Sparkover finding Remolder, so we have access to keys now.
Yeah, that's going to open things up to a big bevy of treasure. They already know about Tanagel Castle, and they know about the Remolder chest. They haven't found Garenham yet. 3 treasures will be behind that. They haven't figured out... but they'll have access to 5 treasures straight away here.
And it looks like Z-Man is actually going to go ahead and take a look in Erdrick's tablet cave.
One torch for those 2 magic keys. I think everybody really hates trying to look behind those 2 doors, but they have to, because it could be Erdrick's sword, it could be Stones of Sunlight, or a very key item they need. So they have to go through those 2 doors.
Yeah, that chest. It's always a great slap when it's 2 keys for a key.
Yeah, it's a great deal, let me tell you. And the Wyvern has been told to take a seat. Sparkover going back into Cantlin. Oh yeah, that's the other thing they're going to be able to find out. The coordinates for the item. Let's find out what those are. So I have no problem getting through these barrier tiles. Alright, there's our coordinates, 31 south and 3 east. Now, we know that won't contain Erdrick's armor, but it could contain Erdrick's token. It also could contain the fairy flute. I don't think that's been found yet.
No, we haven't seen the token or the flutes. And as far as Sparkover knows, it could be the armor, and may go ahead and count that as that is a fairly easily countable coordinate.
We do have money in the upper left corner of the treasuries. We also have found the fighter's ring, which gives an additional 2 attack power. And we've also found the silver harp, which you can immediately turn into the silver harp cave directly east of Tanagel.
And we have Z-Man going up against the red dragons now. And unfortunately won't have any better luck than what Sparkover was having.
Yeah, the Fun Police is having a great day today. Sparkover was able to buy keys up to the maximum 6 allowed. Not only is that oh, look at that. We have the Stones of Sunlight Cave. What I also like to call the bonus cave, but there is no bonus to be found. That means that Sparkover, I think that means it's a magic key because she bought 6 keys. Unless she also has 6 herbs, then it could be an herb as well.
I believe she still has all of her herbs.
Well, Ryu, it looks like this is a harder count than we realized.
Yeah, indeed. That's quite uncommon for such a small coordinate amount to have being unable to count it out easily.
So the question is, will she save the princess now?
Well, they do know where the swamp cave is, and it would benefit her to at least find out what the boss in the swamp is as well.
Yeah, that's true, because if it's something like the Axe Knight, I always bring up the Axe Knight, but the Axe Knight is very susceptible to hurt more, and it dies on one hurt more over half the time, and it's worth a ton of experience, so that's why I keep mentioning it. Sharlock found over in Z-Man's side, by the way.
And speaking of knights, Sparkover finds the original knight, and by using a torch, I believe that means Sparkover will be checking the boss tile.
Yeah, especially since she just turned right.
Ooh, and we have Star Wyverns, also a Dragonlord 2 breath.
Now look what Sparkover has found on the boss site.
A Axe Knight with baby breath.
Yeah, I would just keep knocking out Axe Knights over and over and over, but I know she has a princess to save. Wow, and that Axe Knight has given Z-Man the lead. And now
ooh, and wizards! Dragonlord 2 breath abound.
Yeah, that's going to be bad news, especially when you come toward Sharlock Castle. If those wizards are hanging out there, then they're going to raise the damage that you're going to take throughout that castle. So, something our runners are going to need to know about. Now, fortunately, the wizards will be easy to run away from when it comes time to Sharlock, because the wizard is given a penalty when running away. It's basically your agility versus the wizard's agility, and there's a random number drawn. Wizards are penalized in that regard. Alright, so now Sparkover, having rescued the princess, has earned Gwaelin's love, or what we like to call the GPS, the Gwaelin positioning system. And it does exactly what I said. It yep. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just say I had to find it interesting that Z-Man, knowing the Star Wyvern had that Dragonlord 2 breath, still decided to go ahead and fight against it.
Well, one reason I could see him doing that is that the Star Wyvern is easily susceptible to hurt mores and can die in one hit, so he does have that going for him. 1, 5, 9, and 10. So a nice hit point and magic point gain, but not too much else for level 10.
Well, we do find level 10 has heal more, so that is actually a large boost for 10, as Sparkover reaches their level 10 as well. Only 2 experience between the two.
Z-Man in chat saying because he's dumb, but no, he's not dumb, let me tell you. I can tell you, I don't have the introductions listed to me, but I do know that he is in the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament, is a very excellent commentator in that. Not only does he participate in this tournament, he also commentated in the Chaos and the Chaos tournament and the 2017 tournament last year. And I do have to say that Z-Man lived up to his name as far as the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise League. He was the last man in. But think of it this way.
So he was Z-Man.
Yeah, that's right. All kidding aside here, even though he came in 32nd, that was out of 122 participants, so he's really good.
And I can say I have personally raced against him in not only Dragon Warrior, but Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise and a few other things. And I believe the only thing I've come out on top on is in Dragon Warrior so far.
Meanwhile, as for Sparkover, we call her the Queen Bear because she loves her bears, she loves Snorlax, so she picks up a silver shield, and soon she's going to pick up a bear of an armor. Ha ha ha. There it is, the Erdrick's armor for Sparkover, but she is also participating in the Zelda 1 randomizer tournament. Not exactly sure when her first race is going to be. I don't know if that's been scheduled yet, but I know it's coming, so stay tuned for that. And Z-Man's first race is coming up in Zelda randomizer as well. I also don't know when that is, so I don't know anything as far as the Zelda 1 randomizer tournament.
And as far as Sparkover goes, I've raced multiple times against her in weeklies and casual races. I don't believe I've actually won a race against her yet, so not particularly looking forward to racing against her in the tournament.
Oh, I apologize, Z-Man correcting me. He is not in the this Zelda 1 randomizer tournament. So Sparkover finding Garanham. So there it is. There will be another 3 treasure boxes to pick up here. Still to be found is the Stones of Sunlight. And did she find Erdrick's token yet? I don't think
we do
so.
get Garanham, so we at least have a cave to explore, which could potentially have it. As I believe we found. Well, we are still missing Rainbow Drop Cave as far as caves that we can't explore.
So we have an herb, a bunch of money, and Sparkover's favorite item, the Cursed Belt.
She gets to wear her corset.
I can only guess the reason she likes this. Oh, there's the jerk. We like to call the.
I was talking about him.
Yeah, I know. You jinxed everybody. No, I was gonna say I don't know why Sparkover likes that Cursed Belt. Because I guess the only reason is that it has a big bear on the buckle or something like that. But because the Cursed Belt curses you, which means you're banned from Tanagel Castle, and it doesn't do anything else.
It makes you thinner. It squeezes you tightly, so it makes you thinner.
Ooh, she might be pretty close to finding the item. We will soon find out, but picking up Gwayland's love, I believe, was very necessary here.
I believe she did have to go to the other continent and then explore quite a bit around that other continent.
And there is Erdrick's token on a very lonely peninsula.
Well, the good news there is, other than looking the Stones of Sunlight, she will not have to search for anything anymore. But speaking of one of those searchable caves, we have Z-Man in the Mountain Cave.
Sparkover finding level 11 for 7, 5, 5, and 3. A lot of these levels we're seeing have been very moderate. There really hasn't been a lot of really huge levels, but they've all been very steady, very moderate.
And speaking of finding caves, Sparkover also in the Mountain Cave, so a little bit of a high five between the two there.
Oh. We had an 8-second black frame over there in Z-Man's side, and then we have him defeating a green dragon for a bunch of points. New box, a whole lot of money. And a pair of high fives while Z-Man fighting another green dragon.
So apparently there's gold in Dendlar Mountain Cave.
Har, har, har. And now, virtually in stereo, we pick up the next 2 boxes, which is an herb or a key, we don't know, and a pair of wings, so not much going on up there.
And of course the chat expressing their displeasure. Even my wife is against me. Yeah, you can hear my wife yelling at me for that one. Ooh. We have a blue dragon for Z-Man. And he does get it down.
Yeah, took the risk to fight, only dealing 9 damage, but it turned out that it was enough, so... Final box! Stones of Sunlight, so Mountain Cave was indeed required. So that means that Sparkover has all the ingredients necessary to make the rainbow drop, but she still has to look around a little bit more. We haven't found the grave of Garanham yet. And the reason I'm mentioning that is we haven't found Erdrick's sword yet. Sparkover intentionally...
Oh yes, that's true.
Yeah, Sparkover intentionally taking a death here. And there's a reason why she did that. She's gonna go over to the treasury, and she is going to take as much money as she pleases. Rhea, why is she able to do that?
Well, thankfully, our developers of our favorite game, Dragon Warrior here, were rather lazy. And the way that chests are counted in the game is there's a set of 8 slots that these chests fill. And so when you're going through a mountain cave or the grave or any number of other situations, once you have collected a total of 8 chests, in this case 5 within the mountain cave, and then you have died, warping you back to the castle without ever going back to the overworld to clear this chest count, the 3 that were in the treasury get added to that count, making it 8. And so the game can no longer remove chests, so you're able to open the chest after those 8 as many times as you like.
And right now...
I was going to say, and in this case, we use that to our advantage to purchase the very expensive Silver Shield.
Oh no, not another wizard.
And with the amount of gold that she just collected, I believe that means we have a flame sword incoming.
Yeah, I would say a flame sword and a silver shield is coming up. I think she still has the small shield.
Yes, currently she has the small shield. Let me fix that improper marking there. At least just for the time being.
Alright, now I haven't noticed the silver shield being available, but I think she's going this way for a reason. Z-Man continuing to explore. I assume he's trying to find Garen's grave. Hopefully for a Erdrick sword. Notice both of our contestants do not have any weapon right now, 37 minutes into our competition here. Oh, now there's a level that MTI would be a little bit more proud of. 3, 4, 0, and 1. Sparkover not finding what she wanted there.
Shop number 1. Yielding to Sparkover. Shop number 2, however, behind the locked gate.
Yeah, so now she officially has that silver shield. Now she's hoping to find the flame sword. And I believe it was somewhere out there. I don't know if it was coal or if it was... I want to say it was coal, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But while this is all going on, Z-Man has built an 800 experience point advantage.
Oh, she's going and checking Remolder, so perhaps it was here.
And Z-Man with the Kaishin no Ichigeki, for which deals a whole ton of damage to a monster and scores a whole bunch of points. But Sparkover, now acquiring the Flame Sword, gonna be able to deal a lot more damage to some of those mighty monsters. But what has Z-Man found? Oh, Breckenary.
Well, he found Motel 6.
I hope that was a good impersonation. Oh, Broadsword pickup. Oh, he did have a club. Okay. So, Broadsword is a nice boost. 20 defense points. Also picking up a large shield.
And I'm not sure what that cave he found was, but the only other cave I can think of that we hadn't seen was the grave, so that must be the grave that he was in. But wanted to check the town first and maybe get a rest.
Meanwhile, we got a nice little competition going on the right-hand side of your screen. Sparkover versus the Red Dragon. So long as the Red Dragon doesn't have any heal spell, which is only cast when the Red Dragon has, or any monster really, has 25% of their hit points left or less, then it'll be victory for Sparkover, and there it is. So the Red Dragons give the maximum experience amount, so that's a really nice boost there. Z-Man, however, does find Garen's grave.
And takes a short pause, perhaps to pull up a map.
Yeah, I'm looking at his stream. That's exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, the grave, not the funnest of caves to navigate. Only comes up being the second worst, whereas Charlock, of course, is the worst thing to navigate.
Oh, big stick time for Z-Man.
And fortunately for him here, as he doesn't have any keys yet, he won't be digging down into the bottom of the grave, so he won't be losing time to find out that those two chests won't hold anything for him. Aside from maybe a death necklace, but so far I don't think we'll be having to worry about seeing that used.
Meanwhile, Z-Man hitting a 1 in 64 there by missing 2 Hurtmores in a row. Sparkover missing her 1 in infinity. I think the werewolf always accepts a Hurtmore, so down that goes. Alright, so Sparkover's still wandering around. I think Z-Man is heading on back. So now he's got to find Remolder. We'll see if he can do that pretty soon. Sparkover dismissing yet another X-Night. It's X-Night season here.
Yeah, finding Remolder will definitely be the biggest thing for Z-Man here, as so many things are locked behind keys.
Ooh, Goldman with Sleep. There's my favorite monster right there.
Thankfully, the Goldmen don't hit for much, unlike their stone and brick cousins.
Sparkover continuing to wander. She still needs to find Garen's grave, which holds Erdrick's sword. I believe the
currently at level 12, it does kind of look necessary.
Yes, and I think she also needs to find Garenham, unless she already found it.
She has found it once. She may need to find it again, however.
Well,
and Z-Man making, I was gonna say Z-Man making his way back into Hawksnest finally.
Yeah, he'll find a golem. Now, he doesn't know that Erdrick's token is not going to be there, but the fairy flute I don't think has been picked up by anybody, so he might pick up a fairy flute here. Whoa! 19 power, and 13 magic.
And 13 magic, wow.
Well, that'll be a nice...
Who says 13's unlucky?
Yeah, exactly. So right now, Z-Man is dealing 5 to 10 damage against the Dragon Lord, and we know this because we are going to take the attack power of 121, we divide it by 2, always round down. That leaves 10. That's his maximum damage. Then we divide it again by 2, rounding down, and we get 5. So that's how we know it's 5 to 10 damage to the Dragon Lord. The Dragon Lord has 150 to 165 hit points. So you're going to need a lot of attacks to take care of the Dragon Lord, and it's not enough yet.
And actually, at the current attack power that Z-Man's at, there's quite a few enemies he can, between hurt mores and physicals, he can pretty much take down any enemies he runs into at the moment.
Yeah, now, will he... There's the fairy flute that's found. So, still got to find the token. He's going to continue to wander. Sparkover refinding Garenham.
That means she will be grabbing her rainbow drop very shortly.
But first, she has to sell the cursed belt. That's interesting.
I can't believe she got rid of her corset.
And now she's going to buy a whole bunch of stuff here, so...
We see Z-Man taking advantage of being able to use outside to quickly get out of the swamp cave and get to the other side.
Looks like Sparkover is going to head on back, and she'll be the first to pick up the rainbow drop.
And thankfully for her, she has been able to at least somewhat keep up in the experience as well. So it won't be much for her to grind to catch up to where Z-Man's at currently.
Now, Z-Man still has to find the Silver Harp, and also has to find the Staff of Rain. The Silver Harp was behind a magic key over in Tanagel Castle, the big treasury there, so he still needs to find Remolder. He probably needs to hurry up to do that, because now that Sparkover has the drop, well, Sparkover needs to find Garen's grave, so still a couple things that both of our contestants need to find here.
Unless she's content with her flame sword, we'll have to see how some of the later levels go. We are actually currently at the required minimum HP for Dragon Lord 2 as well.
Z-Man now with a 1400 experience point advantage. The faster he finds Remolder, the better it's going to be for him.
And speaking of which, I believe that town just above him is Remolder.
I do believe you're correct.
And speaking of the grave, there it is for Sparkover.
So with that,
Now, at this point in the game, I was just gonna ask you. At this point in the game, finding Remolder about 15 minutes in, and not getting a key from the Mountain Cave, not getting a key from Garen or any other location so far, would you feel behind?
I would say that I'm behind in exploration. I might say I am level pegging for experience. That is what my thinking would be. I believe Sparkover has picked up Erdrick's sword. And she is going down the passageway to check out the bottom levels, so I'm guessing she's going to look for a death necklace here, just in case.
And a question from the runners here in the chat. I was speculating on your thoughts finding Remolder this late into the run.
Alright, so now Z-Man will be finding the Fighter's Ring and the Fairy Water. There's Z-Man's answer in chat. His thoughts were, oh, shoot, I gotta hurry it up. Alright, so there's the Silver Harp, there's the Fighter's Ring. So that will be that slight boost of attack power that we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. 2 extra attack power, to be precise. Oh no, the soldier, blocking Z-Man's way, and finally gets out of the way. But here's another soldier.
Those NPCs, the real bosses.
There's another soldier blocking. Oh my gosh. Alright, there's level 13 for Sparkover. Now only 800 points behind. Wow, Sparkover not running from a magician. I'm guessing she did not find the death necklace, so we're gonna see if this box is the death necklace. Uh-oh, metal slime! Down
Wow,
goes
and
the
gets
metal
it.
slime.
Getting 3 hits in a row on a metal slime. That's some hefty odds there.
Sparkover coming in the chat. Welcome. She did mention her strategy that she was looking for the death necklace.
I was gonna say, and answering your question as well, yeah.
For those of you who just joined us, yes, this is the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. You're probably wondering why Sparkover and Z-Man are in the chat room, because normally that's not legal, but this is actually a replay of a race that took place Friday morning. So that is why they are totally allowed to chat with us today. Z-Man working on the final thing. The final thing, getting Erdrick's token. There's the coordinates for him.
And he has to be thinking, oh man, 31 south, 3 east. This should be easy.
And
I know I certainly would have.
yeah. Well, yeah, so would I. But I think he's gonna find that he's gonna have to find the princess first.
Yep, he's working on counting it.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I would have done the exact same thing, so...
I'm almost positive we all would have.
And I think I know exactly where Sparkover is going now that she's got everything taken care of. I still don't know if the death necklace was found. I didn't notice.
However, the good news here for Z-Man is this means he will know that there's an Axe Knight there since he has to go get Gwaylin.
And here we go. It's time to slay the dragon, also known as the Axe Knight, about 87,000 times. And if you multiply 87,000 times 130, you'll break the experience counter.
And unfortunately, that only goes to 65,535 or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Darn those 6502 limitations.
Yeah. Well, Z-Man now getting the bad news, probably, that there is an Axe Knight sitting right there. And probably the one question he's asking is, oh boy, that looks like that's going to be very easy to manipulate. As Sparkover is now...
Especially with having I was going to say, especially with having hurt more since level 7, I believe it was. Or no, even earlier than that, I think.
Yeah, and you're seeing it right here. Sparkover is screaming past Z-Man into the lead. Yeah, I believe it was level 6. So Z-Man still has to rescue Gwaylin and return her back to the castle here. Here's level 14. 4 power, which isn't enough, but or I shouldn't say it isn't a lot, but it is a decent boost in attack power. Gonna boost that to 6 to 13 damage against the Dragon Lord. But with only, I believe that also gave her an extra heal more, but with only 11 heal mores, that would be a tough stretch, a tough sell to take on the Dragon Lord here. So, one more level for her.
At least one more, depending on what our strength increase will be.
Alright. So, Z-Man, having rescued the princess, now has to go on the, needs to use the Gwaylin positioning system to find the token while Sparkover is still screaming through those Axe Knights. Whoops. Sorry about that. So while we're waiting on this, we're gonna take a quick moment to mention the upcoming schedule here. Tonight at 9 o'clock, we have Bent Glass Tube and the Hangry Canuck. I don't know if that's gonna get restreamed or not. We'll see what we can do about that because it was on a pretty short notice, but we'll see what we can do here. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, Jay Coper and BT's big race 0-1 happening on the Randomizer Mania or Randomania network, formerly Randomizer Mania. Sparkover and well, never mind. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Well, let's talk about myself and WMD88. That will be at 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. Captain Green and Z-Man05. Oh, never mind. I'll skip that too.
You almost had it.
Yeah, almost had it. Tie-Dye Guy and Tillo. That is Thursday night at 9 o'clock. High Spirits and McGrew Saturday, or no, that is Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, the Alan Heffley and JJ Smith 77 and all Zelda 2 randomizer match. That will be Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. And we will try to get all of those on the Randomizer network.
Boy, that was actually a very long walk for the short coordinates that we had.
Yeah, that's why all of us keep coming back to this game, because it always throws you a curveball, doesn't it? Now Z-Man's about to find out that he's got to jump to the other side of that river there. And I imagine
he's probably got a few. I was gonna say he's probably got a few choice words there.
Yeah, I was gonna say here's level 15 for Sparkover. 2 power, 16 magic. Oh man. So that boosts her. That 2 power is enough to boost it to 7 to 14 damage. So that's an average of 10.5 damage per. She gained an extra 2 heal mores. That puts her at 13 heal mores, if I'm not mistaken. And ooh, that's very borderline. So I really can't blame her for continuing to grind one more level here.
Yeah, thankfully, getting to level 16, not too bad. It's only, I believe, 97.25? Or 97.50.
Yeah, it's 97.50, I believe. We do have 2 more races that have come in while this broadcast has been going. Bend Class Tube and the Hangry Canuck. No, wait a minute. We already did. No, that's already been scheduled. Amazing Toaster and Eternal Newbie. That will be Thursday night at 9 o'clock, also on the Randomizer network.
And there's Z-Man's token, but he hasn't even found Garanham yet, has he?
He did find Garanham. As a matter of fact, it's right there, isn't it?
Well, if he hadn't found it, he has now.
Meanwhile,
he'll be picking up his drop-in moment.
Yeah, meanwhile, there goes another Axe Knight through Sparkover's Hurtmore scanner. Sparkover asking, how many people play Zelda and Dragon Warrior Randomizer at, and are active at it? I would... let's see. Jay Coper does. BT does. Z-Man, even though he's not participating in this tournament, has in the past. Captain Green is also in there. Let's see. Who else? I think there's a couple others. Zarnax. Zarnax plays Zelda 1. Yeah, there's the Alan Heffley. Oh, yeah. Amazing Toaster also plays Zelda 1 Randomizer. Well, I tell you what, if we have an all Dragon Warrior Randomizer, I might have to come out and commentate that one. That is if they'll let me. Alright, so Sparkover, having run out of magic, gonna take a quick night at the end here.
Meanwhile, it looks like Z-Man on his way back to the grind now.
Z-Man now suggesting a combo rando of Zelda 1 and Dragon Warrior Randomizer. There have been quite a number of those combo randos coming out as of recent. The most notable one being A Link to the Past and Super Metroid.
I would probably play that. I'd have to start practicing up on my Z1 again, though, because it has been a very long time since I've played Z1.
Alright, so Sparkover, having thought that she's ready to take on the Dragon Lord, will now enter Charlotte Castle here. She
definitely has a good chance.
Yes, she's only... well, be 365 points away from the next level, so... as you said, Ryu, would definitely say it's a good idea to take it on now, and here we go!
Well, with being so close to the next level, she may just gain it on the way, and I mean, to not gain at least one attack power would be just terrible.
Yeah, but look what's in the first section, Armored Knights. So Armored Knights don't have any penalty, and they have 86 agility. That means that Sparkover has about a 40% chance of running away. It's not very good. Alright, here we go. Second basement. There are, or I should say the first basement. There are 7 basement floors below the first floor, and this will take about 400 steps, and the encounter rate is about 1 in 16. So you're going to get about 21 battles on average. But at this very low agility, she still is not damage-breaking green dragons. But let's see what level 16 grants. 9 power. She is definitely good to go, especially with 27 more hit points.
Wow, even if that power had to come in, she'd definitely be in Death Necklace territory, and has to be in here somewhere.
Yeah, but, well... she's going to have all those double attacks now, and dealing now, what is that, 9 to 19 to the Dragon Lord. I would think that she's going to pass on this. Just don't bother going to the treasure. It's going to be RLH, run like heck, to the Dragon Lord.
Alright, well, while we finish watching the dive along with the grind from Z-Man, I will be back in just a moment.
Yeah, Z-Man going down to the 1 magic point remaining. Gonna quickly heal up and go back to the grind. Here we are in the 3rd monster zone and the final basement. I believe there are over 100 steps to take. I was correct, she did skip the treasury. First monster is a Star Wyvern. That is not a bad thing to encounter, except for the fact that it's breathing Dragon Lord breath. Armored Knights also in this section. Very hard to run away from. Got away with it though. Blue Dragons, not all that difficult to run away from, but a double run fail. Triple run fail. Wow, that's about a 1 in 50. Gotta use up a couple herbs here. And another Armored Knight. She does use a heal more here. Can't blame her. She probably can still win this fight, even with probably 8 or 9 heal mores, I would think. But, oh, here's the struggle in trying to run away from this armored knight. Oh my goodness, I've lost count as to how many run fails she's suffered. We might have to go back and watch the replay when this is all said and done here. My goodness. She finally gets away, but not before using 2 heal mores. Alright, so we're going to have a mini-boss at that very step. It's a blue dragon. You must defeat this dragon in order to proceed. This is a new thing in the randomizer. This is something that is not dealt with in the vanilla version. So we basically moved the golem that was in Cantlin to that particular spot. But anyway, time for Sparkover to hold B. Because if you hold A, then, well, you lose. Here we go, Dragon Lord time! 32 damage to start, and Dragon Lord starts with a hurt more. 50-50 chance of that happening. There's another hurt more. We're going to have to try it again. And a third hurt more in a row. Hey, there's the stuff spell. Time to beat up the Dragon Lord for 40. But unfortunately, with that hurt more, she will have to shoot down the Dragon Lord, and there it goes! Oh, and there's a really big Dragon Lord! Starts off with 16 damage. That's a nice start. And she does get the double attack, even though she started with 96 hit points. Anytime you're below 48 hit points, or you're at 48 hit points, excuse me, you do want to heal more there. And with 102 hit points, that is a guaranteed double attack against the Dragon Lord, because the most, as I mentioned, the most the Dragon Lord can damage is 48.
Apologies for my delay.
No problem. We have Sparkover going against the Dragon Lord. 87 hit points of damage so far. Dragon Lord has between 150 and 165 hit points. And this is pretty much a guaranteed fight so long as she doesn't make a menuing error. $12 more damage. Dragon Lord still standing, but it's only a matter of time. Z-Man going back to the end. 142 damage. There's the heal more. One more attack. Is that going to be enough? There it is. Down goes Dragon Lord. Sparkover is going to win this race, go to 1-0, finishing in an official time of 73 minutes, 52 seconds. Don't mash B at this part. Oh, and apologies for me going back and forth between SRL and Dragon and the actual tracker here, but we will now have a little interview between Sparkover and Z-Man. Everybody's like, interview, woohoo! Why, hello there.
Hello. Fancy meeting you here this afternoon.
Yeah, I know. Weren't we just talking to each other about a few seconds ago?
So I probably should turn off this stream. There we go. Beautiful. Now I can't hear myself again. So, thrilling race that I totally just won and didn't win a couple days ago. Yes.
Yes, indeed. And so, we say good evening to Z-Man. Good game?
Hey, good
Well,
game.
man. Good game. I wish you luck in defeating the Dragon Lord.
Oh, gee, thanks.
You're really good at multitasking, I can see, from your fighting the Axe Knight and talking to me at the same time.
yeah, I'm using the controller with one hand.
Wow.
I mean, you could have a keybind on.
Yeah, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Oh, look, I hit level 16.
Oh, I think you might be ready for the Dragon Lord. Yeah, so at the end, when I was just before level 16, I was so close that I was just a few fights away. I figured I would just go gamble, go into there, and if I got a big strength boost instead of needing MP for it, then I figured, you know, I'd be set to go. And if not, I could just cast outside and Rebelder would be right there so I could heal. So it turned out working for me.
More often than not, it does seem to turn out that the dive for the level on the way down does work. Unfortunately, in my race, it didn't. I had to dive a second time.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember my stats of level 15, but I think I really only wanted like one more strength to really get me there. I think 1 or 2, so either way. Yeah, it worked out well.
Let's see. Stats at 15. HP 106, MP 107, AP was 129, and defense power is 85 with an agility of 70.
Alright, yeah, so probably, I think one more. It's not like I have my cheat sheet with me right now. I mean, I totally do because I'm racing right now, yes.
It is entirely possible that level 15 could have done it for you, but level 16 definitely secured it for you.
I don't know, I think it was just borderline enough that I didn't quite want to risk it, so it ended up being, you know, the level for both of us, and it worked out.
Alright, Z-Man running into a golem, which is like the best thing to run into in Sherlock. Because it is so easy to get away from.
I was gonna say, they're easy to get away from at least.
Yeah, I suppose the golem was most likely guarding the fairy flute and Hawksness.
Oh, it was. I killed the golem. It was.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
On a side note, by the way, those wraiths that you thought maybe had something, they had nothing. They just like to fight, that was all.
Well, like I said in chat, I do have the memory of a goldfish sometimes. So, yeah. Now, for me, though, what this seed came down to, and I think I mentioned this to Sparkover in chat after the race, was that green dragon that wiped me one screen before seeing Rimmeldar.
Yes.
Yeah, if I had seen Rimmeldar before getting whacked by that green dragon, I think it's a different race. But, you know, unfortunately, the green dragon sent me back, and I never went back to that area until it was way too late.
Hello, I'm almost
Yeah,
done.
I had a green dragon take me out just before getting to Cantlin the first time, but I had seen the town, so that's a different story. When you know you have something waiting for you, it's a lot easier to get yourself back there.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I didn't know I had anything there, so I wandered the map looking for this key town when it was just sitting right there. Yeah. Yeah, once I found it, I knew I was done, but, you know, who knows.
So what were your thoughts on the coordinates in this seed? Pretty easy to count, right?
Perfectly easy to count. Oh, crap.
I suppose in theory it wouldn't have been too bad, because you can see, you know, you're pretty close to each other with just a small river crossing, but knowing my skills, I figured saving the princess would be a lot easier, especially with the swamp cave being right there.
Yeah, I just wanted that. I wanted the GPS just as a safety net. I had an idea of kind of, you know, where it was. I just needed to, just in case I got myself turned around. So, and as you can see here, my dive in Sherlock is actually really nice. I didn't really struggle at all. Like, because I saw you, Spark. I saw you having to run from like some armored knights and some things that just weren't letting you run. And meanwhile, I'm having a rather god run down Sherlock.
I mean, looking back on it, I probably should have attacked the Armored Knight instead of just trying to run from it, because either way, I was probably spending a heal more or two, but it worked out eventually. That's the thing, I knew I had heal mores to spare, so at least I knew it wasn't a big problem.
By the way, nice Kaishin there, Z-Man.
Yeah, I got lucky there.
Down goes the blue dragon.
So unfortunately, I have to cut this a little short as I have dinner preparing. So,
Delicious.
yeah, Spark, good game. I hope you do well this week. Who do you play this week?
I am playing one of our commentators here, Sation, so, you know, he's doing his research right now to see how to take out the Sparko.
Oh boy, that'll be a good one. I'll have to make sure to watch that one because now you've both beaten me in Dragon Warrior repeatedly.
Oh,
So
who are you playing again?
I have Captain Green.
All right.
A rare opportunity where I get to interview the person I'll be racing.
All right, guys, have a good night.
All right,
Thanks for
you
joining
too.
us.
Good night, Z-Man. Yeah, what he's referring to is I beat him in the Chaos tournament.
There goes
So?
Dragon Lord 1.
What is the very best piece of information that you are going to use against me that you have learned today?
When a grind is found, Sparko will grind.
Oh, yes.
I'm kind of surprised the grind didn't start a little earlier, like before all the items were found.
I have to say I was as well. Especially with the early hurt more at level 6, it could have made for at least an easier exploration. You could have just repelled most things and just explored and found all the things a little easier, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm always torn.
Yeah, it's that odd weight between, well, I can get all the experience I need now, and then it's easy exploration, but then I have to do all the exploration still.
Yeah. I think I just always worry about... I don't know. Because I know with Hurtmore, I'm always getting experience as I travel, no matter what. So, I don't know. I guess I would probably worry about not needing experience and needing to find items. I'm not as comfy in that situation.
Perhaps a nice middle ground, a little grind, and then maybe find heal more, and then explore. That way, in case you run up against something a little tougher, you have hurt more for taking it down, but you have heal more for surviving as well.
Yeah, that probably would have been a smart way to go about this seed.
So, while we finish watching Z-Man take down the Dragon Lord, unless he did a bad thing, but no, not at all. He does take it down. Had a rare opportunity to have a nice long chat with McGrew, the creator of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer. And so I actually now have an answer to why the starting gold grind works, where you start with 2 keys in the treasury, and you can just walk back out, walk back in, and then go ahead and start a gold grind. I actually have an answer as to why that works, as opposed to it just does. So we all know how there's 8 chests that are being held in memory whenever we're collecting chests before going back to the overworld. And for the oddest of reasons, what the developers decided to do is when you start in the throne room, the first 3 chests, I don't need to commentate. The first 3 chests that you pick up go into slots 1, 2, and 3. When you leave and you come back in, the way that the developers did it so that those chests stay disappeared is they add it to slots 6, 7, and 8. So now you have slots 1, 2, 3, and 6, 7, 8 filled. So when you go into the treasury, you're filling slots 4 and 5. And that's the reason why it works the first time you spawn in, is because only the first time you start the game do the chest in the throne room take up slots 1, 2, 3. Every other time in the game, they take slots 6, 7, and 8.
That's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting way to get a gold grind off, and definitely we'll definitely see a strategy like that later on in the tournament. But it is time for us to go, with Z-Man completing the seed in 8402. Do we have anything else we need to mention?
Well, thank you very much to our restreamer and to our commentators for, putting the show together for us. I really do appreciate it, and I do look forward to watching the whole race sometime soon.
Yes, and congratulations once again on your victory. As we mentioned, you will be facing, well, Ryu Station. So we look forward to that race. That will be, when will that be? Oh, yeah, that'll be Monday night at 9 o'clock. On the Randomizer, maybe 9:15. We're debating that.
Wednesday.
We'll be debating that in a second. Wednesday. Oh, did I say tomorrow? Yeah, Wednesday.
You said Monday.
Monday.
Oh, Monday, Wednesday. Oh, it's Wednesday. It's one of those.
One of those days.
Someday.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap it up because I'm losing my mind here. So, coming up at about 9 o'clock, we're gonna have Zelda 1 randomizer. On Randomania 2, and on Randomania Prime, we're going to have the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Weekly Race. Now, Randomania 3 at 10, we're going to have more Zelda 1 randomizer. And that will do it for today. So thank you all very much for watching. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you, Ryu Station, for joining me. Thank you, Sparkover and Z-Man, for racing. And I hope everybody here's had a good time. So that'll be it. This is me, Game Boy F9, saying goodnight. We'll see you all real soon.
Good night, all.